So a friend of mine messaged me on Facebook today, and he said, Eric, what's a good red-black deck that I can load into Cockatrice and play? And to that I responded, that's kind of a loaded question. That's kind of something that is very multifaceted, because right now, red-black is kind of the hot thing in Standard, while it's not in Modern. And then that led to me having to teach him what formats are. Cockatrice follows a similar plan. They offer a lot of all the formats, from Legacy, Pauper, they even have Casual, EDH, this guy is, Standard, so, what stuff, so, you gotta go in knowing what you want to play, and one of the things is he kind of had a general idea on how to load decks, but not the best idea. So that's what we're going to do today. As you can see, I have Cockatrice already pulled up, and we're going to go ahead and, from the noob's perspective, put a deck into Cockatrice. Now, what I'm going to advocate here, because this guy is literally trying to get into the foray of somewhat minor competitive Magic. So this is going to be your FNMs, your leagues, not really so much PPTQ or Star City Games or SCG Opens, there we go, or your Grand Prix, because you really need to be on your A game for those. But this is going to be for more my level, which is just going to my local store and just spending $5 to have fun. But, well, how do we get to that point? Because those decks can still run expensive, and sometimes you do run into the store with tier 1 decks, and you need to compete with those. So what I advocate to any new player, because I'm in that same boat too, and this isn't something that, even some pro players recommend this, and by all means, I'm not intending this to up your game or anything like that. It's the one thing I know how to do, and that is to get started. And to me, that starts with this. That starts with net decking. But we're going to net deck smart. So what I suggested to him is that he goes here. He goes to the metagame page of MTG Goldfish. There's also MTG Top 8. There's a lot of different resources, but I like this. Why? Because you can see each of the decks, their colors, the standout cards in each of them, and you see their prices right off the bat. Why this is important is because this is what you're eventually going to work towards. Now, why am I going to suggest getting a net deck? Because you already know the basics, but you don't know why a deck is good. You don't know why these decks are seen in the top 10 all the time, and that is something that a new player needs to figure out. The best way to do that is playing the decks, and the best way to play the decks and find out what your playstyle is by going online. So what we're going to do first is I am going to go ahead and get this red-black aggro deck, because he asked me for red-black aggro. As you can see, it is only $197, which is pretty cheap for standard Magic. It's actually a pretty aggressive deck with a low curve, runs one of the best cards in the format right now, Goblin Chain Roller. Also runs a pretty expensive card here, Chandra, Torch of Defiance. It's just because she adds a little bit extra mana, and she does a lot of different complex things. Now, a red deck is something typically I would recommend a new player. This guy does know the basics. If you're literally having your first couple or so games of Magic, I would actually recommend going on another website, and that would be tappedout.net, because they're going to have more budget-friendly decks, but they're also going to have easier decks to learn. If I were to go into my account, I think I made like a standard deck back in the day that actually won a few FNMs and was just a very low to the ground Goblin deck for standard, and this was when Piledriver was in standard not that long ago. So this is another good resource, but what we're going to focus on today is we are going to actually download a deck, and we're going to put it into Cockatrice. So here's how we're going to do that. We're first going to hit the download button here. As you can see, this downloads a text document. So what I'm going to do is go into my folders. Oh, hey, look, I play Doom. There's actually nothing here that's private, so I don't care. And we're actually going to find my magic stuff, which is different for everybody, but for me, oh, that's right. Magic stuff is going to be, I believe, on my desktop, actually. And let's see here. So this is like the hardest part, because you really want to remember where you put your stuff, and this is going to cause a little bit of time to my This is going to cause a little bit of time, but it actually will not cause too much time, as I will just go to users. We're going to go to VTAM, and we're going to go to app data, local, and Cockatrice should be located right here. We're going to go to Cockatrice, and there's decks. So as you can see, I already have a few decks loaded here. And so what we're going to do now is actually go back to our browser where we downloaded that deck, and we're going to just drag and drop. It is now in the database where all the decks are. So now that is there, what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and make sure that it loads into our system. So to do that, we are going to go to deck editor, we're going to go to load deck, and there is the red black aggro list. As you can see, the red black aggro list loads along with all of the cards in it. And now we need to just double check to make sure that it loads. So we're going to go and we're just going to type in standard. I'm going to, in this case, set the player base to 1 just so that I can show exactly how to get into a game. And we should be good. So we're now going to go to load deck. It automatically goes to your primary deck database. So for that, we're just going to go here. We're going to select our red black aggro list that we just downloaded, and we're just going to hit load. And it's that simple. It is so easy to get into Magic the Gathering this way. I love Cockatrice for this reason, because there's no reason to not get into it this way. And then if I want to go ahead and, let's see here, there should be a button that says start game or ready to start. I'm already in. And then all I have to do is Control S a couple times to shuffle the deck, and there's my hand. So then I could just play Aether Hub, add an energy counter, so we'll just put that there, and there we go. That's it. We're done. We now have a working deck. So I hope you guys find this video helpful. This is getting sent directly to my friend. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment down below. If you're seeing this on Facebook, leave a comment there as well. You have a wonderful day. This is Odersbag signing out.